Manalangin po tayo. Dakilang Panginoon Diyos, may-ari ng sanlibutan, pinupuri namin ang iyong pangalan. Kami nagpapasalamat sa panalangin at gabay na ibinigay mo sa amin. Salamat sa panibagong araw na ipinagkaloob mo. Salamat din sa pagkakataon na ibinigay mo upang kami ay muling magtipon para sa panibagong kaalaman. Kami po ay humihiling na nawa po ay gabayan mo po kami sa aming pag-aaral at bigyan mo po kami ng makalangit na kaalaman at lakas upang kami ay matuto. At nawa po ang lahat ng aming matutunan ay magamit namin sa pagtulong sa aming kapwa. Patawarin mo po kami sa aming mga kasalanan at nawa po ang lahat ng aming gagawin ay maging alinsunod sa iyong kautusan. Ang lahat ng ito ay aming sinasamo sa ngalan ng aming Panginoong Hesus. Amen.
Good morning po sa lahat ng mga kadete nationwide from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, sa lahat po ng mga criminologist academicians, sa lahat po ng professors, review lecturers, sa lahat din po ng criminologists na nakikinig right now, mga estudyante po natin from first year up to fourth year. Good morning, good morning, good morning po, and welcome sa Bikoyno. Ang Bikoyno po is platform sa YouTube na nagbibigay ng TOS-based, comprehensive at the same time libre po ng mga discussions sa subject sa criminology program. Ang discussion po natin today will center on one of the subjects in CDI, itong tinatawag na Vice and Drug Education and Control. Sa old curriculum, tinatawag itong Drug Education and Vice Control. Kasi iniba, konti lang naman yung kaibahan, ginawang Vice and Drug Education and Control. Okay? Now, before anything else, as a custom mga kadete, bigyan nyo po ako ng konting minuto ha. 1 minute lang, i-promote ko po yung Bikoyno review materials po. Isang libro po ito mga kadete ha, sa mga baguhan po, bagong subscribers po natin. Isa po itong libro, very comprehensive po, align po sa TOS. Andyan na po yung sa chapter 1, compilation of all review materials in all subjects. Arranged na po yan in different major area. Sa chapter 2, andyan din po yung mga previous collections po natin ng mga questions sa previous criminologist licensure examination. So if you want to practice your analytical skills, baka makapag-practice kayo sa Q&A. Pero again, ang suggestion ko ha, especially yung nagre-review right now, do not focus on Q&A. Doon kayo mag-focus sa review materials kasi doon po ang comprehensive. And most importantly, critical and analytical skills po, yan po ang way po natin to pass the board examination kasi most of the questions are situational and requires analytical thinking. Okay? Sa mga professors natin, review lecturers, available pa din po PowerPoint presentation and PDF copy po sa lahat po ng subjects. So kindly give me a personal message mga kadete. Andyan po yung tingnan nyo po yung video description. Do not inquire in the comment section. Naku, andyan yung pangalan ko po sa video description. All you have to do, click yung video description. Andyan yung pangalan ko. Search nyo yan sa Facebook. Tapos, give me a personal chat, ha? Para at least we can negotiate sa mode of payment at the same time sa mode of shipment po natin. Alright? So again, ang subject po is Vice and Drug Education and Control. Sa mga Seventh-day Adventist or those reader of the Bible, probably you come across with the story of Samson and Delilah. Sa mahilig po, magbasa ako, talagang I usually cling on Bible precepts. Mahilig po kayo magbasa ng Bible, I'm pretty sure you come across with Samson and Delilah. Dito muna tayo sa history ng drug abuse ha. Si Samson, tinatawag siyang the strongest man in the Bible. Okay? Pero nung araw, you have to understand mga kadete, in the biblical times, pag Israelites ka, you only mingle with Israelites. Pag Canaanites ka, you only mingle with Canaanites. Ikaso dito, may nobya si Samson, ang nobya niya is a Palestine. Pag Palestinian ka, you are not allowed to mingle with the Israelite. Neither an Israelite mingling with a Palestinian. Kasi nung araw, there was a war between Palestine and Israel. Nung unang araw po, Samson, isang Israelite, Delilah, Palestine. Even today, right? Even today. So, ang nangyari po dito, ang strength po or ang lakas ni Samson, hinuhugot po yan from the hair sa buhok mismo ni Samson. Pero, the purpose of Delilah coveting with Samson was actually to find out the source of the strength of Samson. Kasi po, si Samson was the key person of the various victories of the Israelites against the Philistines. Every time there is a battle between Palestine and the Israelites, pag andyan si Samson, talagang panalo yung mga Israelites. So, the Philistine had this intention to find out ano ba yung source ng strength ni Samson. So, andyan si Delilah. So, mighty Samson was put to sleep by Delilah by means of drug-laced wine before cutting his hair. Pero nung una, before knowing the source of strength, Delilah was very persistent about it. Sinabi, love, ano po ba yung source of strength mo? Sabi ni Samson, when you will tie me with a vine, automatic, mawawala po yung strength ko. So, ang ginawa, pinatulog si Samson. Pagkatulog ni Samson, here comes Delilah, tying the body of Samson with vine. But then again, when Samson woke up, in just a snap of a finger, nawala. He was able to break loose of the vine. So, Delilah was persistent that there was a lot of ways, strategies in order for Delilah to really find out. So, it came up to the point that Samson conceded in telling the truth. So, sabi ni Samson, it's not the vine, it's not about this, but rather, pag pinutol mo po yung buhok ko, automatic mawawala yung lakas. So, ang ginawa ni Delilah, based on the records, he subjected Samson into sleep by using a drug-laced wine. So, nung nakatulog na si Samson, kinat niya agad yung buhok ni Samson. And when Samson woke up, lo and behold, the strength was gone. So, it caused the downfall of Israelites. Basically, Samson was captured. Pero later on the stories, Samson was able to regain his strength when he asked for it from God. But the point here is that si Delilah used a drug in order for Samson to fall asleep. Yun po ang point dito. Bakit po naisali ito sa general history of drug abuse. Alright? So the downfall of man is caused by a woman. And sometimes the success of a man is also caused and supported by a woman. Parang ganyan lang, di ba? Now, sa history, marijuana is considered to be the world's oldest cultivated plant. Take note of that, world's oldest cultivated plant, which started by the Incas of Peru. Okay? Ang marijuana po, tinatawag ito in scientific name as Cannabis sativa L. Alright? Cannabis sativa L. Marijuana was considered a sacred tree in the belief of the Assyrians, being used during religious rituals sometime in 9,000 years before Christ or BC. Okay? Sunod, after the marijuana, andito po yung morphine. Okay? Which was discovered by a German pharmacist, Frederick Serturner. Okay? Ang morphine po was a derivative of opium. O, kinuha po siya mismo sa opium. Ang morphine po was first known as morphium. Unang tawag ng morphine is morphium, pero it was later changed into morphine after the Greek god of dream Morpheus. Okay? Saan siya kinuha? Yung etymology niya. Ang morphine nung araw, tinatawag siyang morphium. Pero yung word na morphium, it was renamed into morphine after the Greek god of dream Morpheus. Okay? Bakit po ba na-imbento ang morphine? The purpose of inventing morphine is para i-cure yung opium addiction. Para ma-cure yung opium addiction kasi nung una, napaka-addicted sa opium eh. So, in order to cure it, na-imbento yung morphine. Pero, ang morphine may addictive properties po siya. To the point that during the American Civil War, a lot of American soldiers became addicted with morphine. To the point na ang morphine, tinatawag siyang soldier's disease. Right? So, instead, originally, it was used to cure opium addiction, nagiging addictive yung properties niya. Marami ang mga tao that became addicted with morphine. Alright? So, hindi na ngayon, although there is a cure for opium, but then again, the cure became also an addiction. Alright? Now, so meron ng morphine addiction, meron na din pong opium addiction. So, naimbento itong tinatawag na heroin. Okay? Diacetylmorphine. Sino ba ang nag-imbento sa heroin? Discovered po ito by British chemist Alder Wright in 1896. So dito, dinatawag siyang hero kasi po, it was designed to cure una yung opium addiction at saka yung morphine addiction na. Right? The second attempt to treat opium at the same time the morphine addiction. Tinatawag siyang miracle drug because it was believed that it can cure both opium and morphine addiction. Pero again, physicians began to use heroin, but it became a substitution of one addiction to another. It turns out later that heroin is the most addictive of all drugs. Take note ha? Most addictive of all drugs. So, ang original design ng heroin is to cure opium at saka morphine addiction. But again, just like morphine, nagiging source of addiction din po yung heroin. To the point nga, ang heroin is considered to be most addictive of all drugs. Alright? Next is codeine. Codeine is the third derivative of opium that was discovered in France. It ended in same tragic result. Pareho lang din. Marami pa din po ang naging addicted sa codeine. Today, it is widely used as an ingredient in most cough syrup. So, yun po ang historical perspective. We trace it back from the story of Samson and Delilah up to codeine. Alright? Now, punta tayo sa mga batas that were enacted to regulate drug use in the Philippines. Una, itong Republic Act number 953. Tinatawag itong Narcotic Drug Law of 1953. Take note mga reviews ha. Ito lumabas ito sa board examination in the previous po. So, kindly take note about it. So, ito po ang unang batas that gave regulations on the prohibition of drug cultivation, particularly on marijuana and opium poppy. Katapos ng RA 953, dumating itong Republic Act 6425. Tinatawag itong Dangerous Drugs Act of 1972. So, sa batas na ito, it mandates drug education to be part sa school program and curricula in the Philippines. Kaya nga, noong araw, I can still remember when I was in the elementary days. Part po yan yung drug education as part of the curriculum po sa elementary at saka secondary. Gumagawa ka po kami ng mga placard about drugs. Nakalagay doon, no to drugs, yes to sports. Tapos nagpaparade kami. Drug awareness was actually implemented in our school during those times. Pagdating noon sa 6425, there was an amendment. Itong Republic Act number 7624 in 1992. It integrated drug prevention and control in intermediate and secondary curricula as well as the non-formal, informal, and indigenous learning system. So it's basically on the embedding of drug education on these different institutions. Tapos, in 2002, there was another repeal of the law, itong Republic Act number 9165. So nawala na po yung 6425 it was replaced by 9165. Okay? Ang 9165 tinatawag siya Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Law of 2002. And most of the mandates right now or provisions in terms of drug regulation ay kinukuha po natin mula sa Republic Act number 9165. There was just a little amendment of 9165 strengthening po sa combat natin against dangerous drugs. Ito Republic Act number 10640. Yan po ang amendment. But most of the provisions are still lingering coming from Republic Act 9165. Okay? Next, illicit drug routes or routes. Tatlo po ito mga kadete ha. Tatlo po ang rota po sa droga. I'd like you to memorize these, Memorize nyo po kasi po ito, this will really come out in the board examination. Unang drug route po natin, rota, kung saan po ba ang droga is manufactured. Una, Middle East. Sa Middle East po, dyan po ang discovery, dyan po ang plantation, pag-cultivate, pag-harvest. Sa unang rota Tapos, after harvest, ang preparation for distribution ginagawa sa Turkey. Okay? After Turkey, ang pag-manufacture ginagawa, pati na po yung synthesis at saka yung refinement, ginagawa sa Europe. And then, yung marketing, yung consumer nito, marketing and distribution nagmula mismo sa United States. Unang rota yan Pangalawang rota, tinatawag itong second drug route, ang Golden Triangle, di ba? Sa Golden Triangle, as you can see in the picture, Golden Triangle po yan. Ang Golden Triangle, this is a term coined by the Central Intelligence Agency. Pag magtanong sa inyo sa board examination, sino ba? Anong ahensya ang nag-imbento sa word na Golden Triangle? Ang sagot po dyan, CIA Ano ba yung CIA? Central Intelligence Agency. Saan pong bansa yan? United States of America. So, makikita nyo sa picture, ang Golden Triangle, which is approximately producing 60% of opium in the world and 90% of opium in the eastern part of Asia, it consisted of the three big countries. Una, Burma or Myanmar. Noong araw, tawag niyan is Burma. Ngayon is Myanmar. Ngayon, pangalawa is Laos. Okay? Laos po, ang pangatlo is Thailand. So, Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand, these are the three countries in the Golden Triangle. So, ang tatlo po na ito, dito po dadaan, dito po mag-manufacture ang droga. Okay? On the other hand, ang pangatlong rota po, tinatawag itong Golden Crescent. Ang Golden Triangle, andyan yung Vietnam, Laos, at saka yung Myanmar. Pero sa Golden Crescent, ito po ay Iran, Afghanistan, at saka yung Pakistan. So, dyan po nagsimula yung harvesting, distribution, plantation, so on and so forth. Kindly memorize po sa tatlong rota po sa droga. Okay? Punta tayo sa nature and physiology of drugs. Ano ba ang drug? Okay? Basahin po natin ang definition. Ang drug po is defined as a substance used as a medicine or in making medicines which affect the body and mind and have potential for abuse. Ano po ba ang droga? Ito po ay substance na ginagamit po sa paggawa ng gamot, or it could be a substance na ginagamit po sa paggamot. It could either be ginagamit as a gamot or ginagamit to produce medicine. And this substance could affect the body and mind and could have the potential for addiction or abuse. In its criminological meaning, this refers to substances other than food and water that is intended to be taken or administered for the purpose of altering, sustaining, or controlling the recipient's physical, mental, or emotional state. So sa criminological context, ibig sabihin ng droga, ito po ang mga substances, hindi kasali ang food and water mga substances na pag ina-administer po natin, it could alter. Iniiba po yung physical, mental, and emotional state ng isang tao. Okay? Ang drug po comes from the French word drogue, which means dry substance. Dalawa po ang general forms of drugs po natin. Una, natural drugs. Pangalawa, synthetic or artificial. Ibig sabihin ng natural, yung kinukuha natin from the natural plants. For example, kumukuha tayo ng flowering tops or opium or marijuana. These are natural drugs, right? Pag sa mga Bisaya, pag may suga tayo, kumukuha tayo ng tinatawag nating hagonoy. Di ba? Tinatawag natin yung universal tissue or national tissue of the Philippines. Di ba? Yun ang ginagamit natin para yung yung fluid from the hagonoy leaves, ginagawa natin yung cure or treatment sa mga sugat po natin. Sa hindi Bisaya, I don't know if you will know about that specific plant. Next, synthetic or artificial drugs. Ito po yung mga droga produced by clandestine laboratories, meaning it undergoes laboratory processes. Okay? Next, types of synthetic or artificial drugs. Una, prescriptive. Pangalawa, over-the-counter or OTC. Ano bang pagkakaiba sa dalawa? Simple lang. Yung prescripted, from the word prescription, kailanganin po yung authorization from a doctor. Kailanganin yung prescription coming from a doctor before ka makapagbili nito. Hindi naman pwedeng pumunta ka doon sa pharmacy tapos sabihin mo, I want to buy morphine. Di pwede yan. Bibili ako ng dextrose. Di pwede. It has to have a prescription. So yung mga droga na kailanganin ng authorization from a doctor, tawag po doon prescriptive drug. They are prescribed according to the individual's age, weight, and height and should not be taken by anyone else. Pero yung mga droga na hindi kailanganin yung authorization from a doctor or prescription, ang tawag po doon OTC or over-the-counter drugs. Usually, ang droga po na ito will only treat minor and short-term illnesses. Okay? Sunod. Self-medication syndrome. Ano ba ang term na ito? Ibig sabihin ng self-medication syndrome, a syndrome that is found in users and would-be users of drugs whose sources of information are people or literature other than doctors, pharmacists, and health workers. Ibig sabihin, from the word self-medication, ibig sabihin, gumagabot ka sa sugat mo or sa sakit mo. Ang paggamot na yan is not consulting at doctor, but rather you consulted literatures. You consulted only literature, or probably you want to know the cure of dengue. So ano ang ginagawa, 'di ba? Kumuha ka ngayon ng a certain plant, I forgot the term. Certain plant, tapos i-boil mo siya, tapos ang water coming from that boiled plant, pinapainom mo sa isang tao na may dengue fever, only to find out that it can cause internal hemorrhage. So when you base treatment of a certain illness based on literatures or probably based on people surrounding you, then what you are doing is what we call as self-medication syndrome. Noong unang araw nga pag bagong panganak, sabi ng mga matatanda, you should not take a bath for 15 days, which is very wrong. Napaka mali po. Ha? You should not be facing the mirror once kapapanganak mo lang. Yung mga ganyan. So, self-medication syndrome po ang tawag pag nagbigay ka ng treatment based on literature or based on maritises around. Alright? The amount of drug in a dose can be described as una, minimal, pangalawa, maximal, pangatlo, toxic, pang-apat, abusive, at saka pang-lima, lethal dose. Ito, lumabas ito sa board examination, mga kadete. Ang posology, P-O-S-O-L-O-G-Y, posology. Posology is known as the science of dosage or the study of dosage. Kung ano, when you say dosage, ang amount of drugs that you have to take. Dosage po yon. Ang study of dosage, tinatawag siyang posology. Okay? So, 5 ang dosage po dito. From the word minimal dose, ito po ang smallest amount. Smallest amount of a drug that can produce a therapeutic effect. Minimal. Again, tingnan natin yung term ha. Yung minimal is associated with the word smallest. Okay? So, sa board examination, pag nakalagay dyan, smallest amount, walang ibang answer, minimal dose. Maximal dose, opposite siya ng minimal. Yung minimal, smallest. Maximal, yung largest amount of drug that could produce a desired therapeutic effect. Okay? Without any accompanying symptoms of toxicity. Maximal dose. Toxic dose, from the word toxic, ibig sabihin, poison. So ito po yung dosage that can cause poisoning. For example, Newsip. 500 milligrams, ininom mo, let's say 20 Newsip capsules. Ay nako, mamamatay ka dyan. That could cause poisoning. Kasi nasobraan na. Ang abusive dosage on the other hand, hindi siya about poisoning. But rather, it's about improper administration of drugs or improper using of drugs. Okay? For example, nung araw, I can still remember when I was still a child, pag nagkalagnat kami, ang ipinainom sa amin is mifenamic. Ang mifenamic po is a pain reliever. Hindi po yan para sa lagnat. It's an abusive dose po. Maling-mali, improper eh. Napaka-improper. Or probably, ang sabi doon, ang ipainom mo is only 2 ml. Pero ang inilagay mo is naging 2.3 or naging 2.5. Improper. Abusive dose po siya. Lethal dose, on the other hand, from the word lethal, death. This is the dosage that could cause death. Okay? So, tingnan lang natin yung synonymous terms ha. Pag lethal, anong ibig sabihin dyan? Anong synonymous? Death. Pag toxic, ano ang synonymous? Poison. Abusive, improper. Maximal, maximum. Minimal, minimum. Okay? Study of dosage, posology. Pero pag toxicology, known as the science of poisons, their effects, and antidotes. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng antidotes? Antidotes means treatment of poisons. Treatment of poisons, ano ang ibig sabihin? Ano ang term dyan? Antidote. Okay? Ang science of poisons, including their effects and antidotes, ano po ba ang term? Toxicology. Okay? Toxicology. Alright? Napaka-easy intindihin po ito. Alright, next. Drug trafficking. Ang drug trafficking, tinatawag din po siyang illegal drug trade. Alright? It is a global black market activity consisting of the production, distribution, pag-package, pag-sale of illegal psychoactive substances. Ang dangerous drugs refer to the broad categories or classes of controlled substances. Controlled substances are generally grouped according to pharmacological classifications, effects, and as to their legal criteria. Pero ito, mga dangerous drugs po ito. Again, mga dangerous drugs po ito yung mga substances that could alter the mind, body of the person. Ang dangerous drugs po, naka-classified po siya into different pharmacological classification. For example, ang classification po, according to effects, 3 lang po yan. Depressant, stimulant, at saka yung hallucinogen. Okay? Isang grupo po yan. Grupo na or classification ng mga droga according to effects. Okay? So, isa-isahin po natin ito ha. Depressants, stimulants, at saka yung hallucinogen. Ano bang pagkakaiba sa 3? Pag depressant, ibig sabihin, depress. It slows down. It dulls the mind. Okay? It dulls the mind. It slows down the body reactions to the extent that accidental death or suicide usually happen. This usually cause depression, relieve pain, and induce sedation or sleep, and suppress ka. For short, from the word depressant, ito po yung nakapag-depress, nakapag-slow down sa central nervous system natin. Right? Manghihina tayo pag nakainom ka manghihina ka nawawala yung energy mo eh. So, ang alcohol is part of the word depressant. Ang stimulant is opposite of depressant, right? Ang stimulant, from the word stimulant, it could stimulate, it could energize the body of the individual. Okay? Pag kumuha ka ng kape, di ba? Pag uminom ka ng kape, di ba usually you will be awakened, you will become physically active. Pag sleepy ka na, inom ka ngayon ng kape. Pag inom mo ng kape, di ba, nagiging physically active ka uli, nagiging energized ka. So, ang caffeine is basically part of stimulant. Ang hallucinogen, it could something that could provide hallucination. When you say hallucination, you see things, colors, blah, 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 blah. For example, let us say, under stimulant, you take ecstasy. Or probably you will take marijuana or LSD. Umiiba yun. Na-alter yung visuals mo. You can see colors. You can perceive different matters in different time, in different space. Iba yung sensation mo. Nag-hallucinate ka. So if you will think that you are Superman, yun. Part yun ng hallucinogen na drug. Alright? So, isa-isahin po natin ha. Balik tayo sa depressant, mga kadete. Sa depressant, marami po ha. Napakarami po tayong depressant na drug. But I will not enumerate all. I will only enumerate those very common ones. Okay? Una po, dito, kasali ang tinatawag nating opium. Okay? Ang opium po, andyan na po yung mga pictures ha. Nilagay ko po para you will be acquainted. Ang opium po is derived from the poppy plant, Papaver somniferum, or popularly known as gum or gamot, kalamay or panoka. It can grow 3 to 6 feet in height, originally in Mesopotamia. Ang Mesopotamia po is the oldest name of Iraq. Iraq na po tayo ngayon ha. So yan pa, opium. Saan nanggaling siya? From a poppy plant known as Papaver somniferum. Ang opium tinatawag din pong gamot, galamay, or panoka. I hope my pronunciation is correct. Sunod, balik tayo sa morphine. Ano ba yung morphine? Nung una, tinatawag siyang morphium. Then, it was renamed into morphine in order to give recognition of the Greek god of dream, Morpheus. Ano ang purpose ng morphine? In order to cure opium. Okay? Most commonly used and best used opiate, effective as painkiller, 6 times potent than the opium with a high dependence producing potential. Okay? So, yun po ang contribution ng morphine. Pero again, morphine is very addictive po. Sunod, andyan din po yung paregoric. Ang paregoric is a tincture of opium in combination with camphor. Commonly used as a household remedy for diarrhea and abdominal pain. O sa mga loose bowel movement, paregoric part po siya as a drug. Next, Demerol and Methadone, commonly synthetic drugs without morphine-like effects. Demerol is used as a painkiller in childbirth, pagpanganak po, while Methadone po is a drug of choice in the withdrawal treatment of heroin dependence since it relieves the physical craving for heroin. O yun po, ang pagkaiba sa Demerol and Methadone. Ang Demerol po during childbirth, para yung it could reduce the pain. Yung Methadone is on the treatment for heroin dependence. Sunod, barbiturates. Ito po yung mga sleeping pills, sleep-inducing drugs. Yung may insomnia, may anxiety, mental stress, ito po, barbiturate. Yung sleeping pills po is a barbiturate po. Siconal. Ang Siconal naman, mga kadete, ito yung ginagamit among hospitality girls. Kasi po, ang hospitality girls, usually, tumatambay sila, nagtatrabaho sila during nighttime. During daytime, there might be a possibility that they will have difficulty in sleeping. So, in order to relax their body, they can take the Siconal. Okay? So, ang Siconal din po is a form of a barbiturate. Alright? Next, tranquilizers. It could calm and relax and diminish anxiety used in the treatment of nervous states and some mental disorders without producing sleep. Then, volatile solvents, andyan yung rugby. Kerosene, pwede din po, gasoline. Pag medyo kapos tayo sa pera, bibili tayo ng varnish, tapos you will inhale it for several times. Nako, at the end of the day, nako, patay ka na. Volatile solvents po. Sunod, ang tinatawag na king of all drugs, itong alcohol. Okay? Tinatawag siyang king of all drugs kasi po, ito po ang pinaka-widely used, socially accepted, and most extensively legalized drug throughout the world. Ang pangalawang general drug classification according to effects is stimulant. As I have told you a while ago, ang stimulant po is something that is opposite from depressant. Opposite siya kasi sa depressant makapag-relax ka. Pero dito, ma-energize ka. You will be alert. You will experience wakefulness. Sometimes reduce hunger. At the same time, provide a feeling of well-being. So, yun po, stimulant. Under the stimulant po, or uppers, yan po ang other term ng stimulant we have the following drugs. Amphetamines na ginagamit po in order to reduce weight, especially yung persons suffering from obesity. It could also be used to relieve mild depression at the same time treatment. The other hand, we have cocaine. Ang cocaine po is taken from the coca bush plant, which is actually growing in South America. So, ang ginagawa po sa coca bush plant, hina-harvest po yung leaves. Pagkatapos ng harvesting ng leaves, it will undergo a process of grinding. Iga-grind po yung leaves until the fluid coming from the leaves will be extracted. Yung fluid sa mga leaves, it will be boiled to the point na yung fluid will transition into coca paste. Right? So, ang coca paste, nire-refine siya until mapoproduce po yung cocaine. Okay? Now, remember mga kaniti, baka lalabas ito sa board examination. Ang scientific name po ng coca bush plant is Erythrocylon coca. Kindly jot it down na lang mga kaniti pag may ballpen po kayo at saka may notebook po kayo dyan. Especially yung nag-order or nag-purchase ng Bitcoin o review material. Take note po, ang scientific name po ng coca bush plant is Erythrocylon coca, which is common again in South America. Yung derivative or yung nakuha po natin or yung na-produce po sa coca bush plant, yung cocaine. Ang complete name po dyan is cocaine hydrochloride. So pag may choices sa board examination mga kadete between cocaine and cocaine hydrochloride, piliin nyo yung cocaine hydrochloride Pero kung wala naman, piliin nyo yung cocaine. Pero pag, again, between the two, cocaine, letter A, letter B, cocaine hydrochloride, piliin po yung letter B, cocaine hydrochloride. Alright? Sunod, caffeine. Ito po yung mga kape. Present in coffee, tea, chocolate, cola drinks, and some wake-up pills. Caffeine. That can also produce energy or wakefulness on the part of the person who will take it. Sunod ang lumabas sa board examination, poor man's cocaine. Ang poor man's cocaine, ito mga kadita, lumabas ito sa board examination. Ano ba, which of the following is known as the poor man's cocaine? Letter A, shabu. Letter B, methamphetamine hydrochloride. Ano po ba dapat ang sagot natin? In that case, pareho po, letter A and letter B, pareho po sila, parehong correct answers. Pag ganyan po ang question sa board examination, piliin po natin yung pinaka-the best answer. Paano po natin malaman na best answer yan? Pag universal po yung term. Universal in a sense that that term is used worldwide. Between shabu and methamphetamine hydrochloride, pag pumunta ka na Amerika, sabihin mo, can I buy shabu? No one will understand you. But if you will say, can I buy meth? Can I buy methamphetamine hydrochloride? Somebody will understand you that term. So, ang sagot po natin is methamphetamine hydrochloride. Pero pag wala namang other choices, letter A, shabu, letter B, cocaine, letter C, marijuana, letter D, caffeine, naku, ang answer po natin is shabu, basically. Okay? So, yan po So, again, shabu is known as poor man's cocaine. Or, ang shabu po is known as methamphetamine hydrochloride. Alright? Sometimes, ang shabu po, tinatawag siyang ice or meth. Yan po ang street names dyan. Now, you have to be informed na ang methamphetamine hydrochloride po is taken from the plant known as Ephedra. Ephedra plant. EPE. Okay? Eco, Papa, Eco. Ephedra. Ephedra plant. Which is known in Chinese as Ma Huang or Ephedra vulgaris. Alright? So, dyan po kinukuha yung methamphetamine hydrochloride. Now, it is a central nervous system stimulant and sometimes called as upper or speed. The purest form of meth are known as, ang pinaka-pure po, ibig sabihin, grabe yung epekto nito, first class talaga. Tinatawag siyang ice, crystal, or tina. Take note of the words, Yung first class po, tinatawag siyang ice, crystal, or tina. Glass, the word glass usually indicates a chunk form of a myth, meaning it's a portion or a parcel. The word na ginagamit sa street is glass. Additional names include Benis, Chok, Crank, Fire, Genie, Crank, Diet Junk, Sketch Speed. Napakarami po. Sa Bisaya, tinatawag itong butang. Okay? Another term that you have to take note, a combination of meth and caffeine. Combination sa shabu at sa caffeine is called as yaba. Yaba in Thailand. Right? Kino-combine ngayon yung shabu at sa caffeine. Napakagrabe siguro yung epekto nito. Yaba po ang tawag. Right? Next, nicotine. Nicotine which is present in tobacco. Alright? Isa din po yung stimulant. Sunod na general drug classification itong hallucinogen. Bakit nga po? Hallucination po. Ano po produce nito? Hallucinogen is also known as psychedelics, drugs that consist of a variety of mind-altering drugs. Ito po ang droga na pag ina-administer mo sa katawan mo, parang lumilipad ka. You think that you are Superman or Batman or Spider-Man. Di ba? O na dito itong marijuana. Ang marijuana again, yung pinakaunang plant cultivated, is pinakaunang drug plant na kinocultivate. Commonly abused hallucinogen in the Philippines. Again, pag magtanong ang board examination, ang pinaka-common na abused hallucinogen in the Philippines, ano po ba? Marijuana. Okay? It includes the effects of the effects of marijuana include the feeling of grandeur. Parang you feel exalted. Okay? Yan po, marijuana. Ang marijuana po was discovered by Carl Linnaeus. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. Okay? So, take note po, ang scientific name po nito is marijuana. Ang marijuana is Cannabis sativa L. Ang L po dyan is hindi lima. In some other books, ang L po, tinatawag lang lima. Hindi po yan ha, lima ha. Cannabis sativa Lin. L-I-N-N. In recognition of the person who discovered it, Charles Linnaeus. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. So, ang Lin dyan, may period yan ha. Cannabis sativa L, period. Cannabis sativa Lin po ang letter L stands for Lin. Okay? Sunod, LSD. Or lysergic acid diethylamide. This drug is the most powerful of all psychedelics obtained from ergot. Ang ergot po, isa po siyang fungus. LSD is 1,000 more powerful than marijuana. LSD causes perceptual changes so that the user sees color, shapes, or objects. Take note again ha, LSD, pinaka-powerful na hallucinogen. Ikumpara dyan sa cocaine, shabu, or methamphetamine hydrochloride. Again, ang LSD, napaka-potent po, napaka-grabe po ang epekto. Kasi ang mga shabu is basically part of the stimulant. Okay lang yan, you cannot see probably, you cannot see shapes or colors of different dimensions. Pero ito talaga, you can see color, shapes, and objects pag nag-take ka nito. Kaya tinatawag siyang the most powerful psychedelic. Okay? Next, andyan din po yung MDMA. MDMA stands for methylene dioxymethamphetamine. Methylene dioxymethamphetamine or MDMA, tinatawag itong ecstasy. Ito, lumabas ito in the latest criminologist licensure examination. And ang MDMA, ang common name po natin dito sa Pilipinas is ecstasy. And mole or mandi in crystal form. Pag crystal form siya, tinatawag siyang mole or mandi. Pag tablet form siya, tinatawag siyang ecstasy. Is a potent empathogen, entactogen with stimulant and minor psychedelic properties. It acts as both a stimulant and a hallucinogen. Pwede siyang stimulant, pwede siyang hallucinogen, producing an energizing effect, distortions in time and perception, and enhanced enjoyment of tactile experiences. Kaya tinatawag ito siyang party drug. Kasi ginagamit ito during parties eh. Na-energize ka at the same time na-distort or na-alter yung mga perception mo. Okay? Ang MDMA or methylene dioxymethamphetamine or ecstasy or mole or mandi in crystal form, tinatawag din po itong E or pills or cups, fingers, M&M, Dopa, Love Drug, Disco Biscuits, XTC, X, and AC. Okay, so yun po. Yan ang, lumabas ito sa latest criminologist licensure examination, mga kadete. Sunod, balik tayo sa marijuana, mga kadets, ha? Okay? The term marijuana, again, is a Spanish-Mexican term to refer to the Indian hemp plant. I repeat, ang L po dito, hindi po lima ha, lin po. Right? Lin. Cannabis sativa Lin. And a member of the cannabinase family of plants. Ang marijuana may female at saka male yan. Ang female, tinatawag siyang pistillate. Yung leaves niya is much shorter. Pero yung leaves na much taller, tinatawag siyang staminate. Ito po yung male. Ang female, tinatawag siyang pistillate. Ang male, tinatawag siyang staminate. Okay, take note po ha. If possible, memorize po natin ang mga terms, mga kadete. Para at least, pagdating sa board examination, hindi tayo ma-confuse. Sunod, sa marijuana, andyan yung psychoactive agent na very addictive. Itong tinatawag na THC or tetrahydrocannabinol. Yan po ang very addictive dyan. It is also known as the sinister element in marijuana. This is what causes the high lift or trip in marijuana users. Aside from this, aside from the marijuana, we also have the other hallucinogens or psychedelics. Itong peyote. Okay? Peyote din po is a psychedelic or hallucinogen which is derived from the surface part of a small gray-brown cactus. Ang peyote emits a nauseating odor and its user suffers from nausea. Parang masusuka ka. Yun po, nausea yan. Sunod, mescaline. It's an alkaloid hallucinogen extracted from the peyote cactus again and can also be synthesized in the laboratory. 1 to 2 hours after the drug is taken in liquid or powder form, delusions begin to occur. Alright? Next, the other one is STP. Ang STP naman stands for Serenity, Tranquility, and Peace. Ito, I think year 2020 or 2019, lumabas ito sa board examination. STP. STP stands for Serenity, Tranquility, and Peace. Ang STP po is a derivative po. Take off po siya sa motor oil additive. Its effects are similar to the nerve gas used in chemical warfare. It is less potent than LSD, although its effects are similar to those psychedelics. Okay? Again, take off siya sa motor oil additive. So, itong tinatawag natin psilocybin. These hallucinogenic alkaloid from small Mexican mushrooms are used by Mexican Indians today. These mushrooms induce nausea, muscular relaxation, mood changes with vision of bright colors and shapes, and other hallucinations. And the last one is morning glory seed, which is also addictive. The black and brown seeds of the wild tropical morning glory are used to produce hallucinations. The seeds are ground into flour, soaked in cold water, then strained through cloth and drunk. They are sold in the names of Heavenly Blues, Flying Dancers, and Pearly Gates. So, I think this is also a familiar kind of flower, itong morning glory seeds. So, it can also be considered as a drug that could produce hallucination. Alright? Next is general drug classification according to legal categories. Kanina is according to effects. Dito naman tayo sa legal categories. Una po, itong prohibited drugs. Prohibited in a sense that this is mandated under Republic Act 9165. Pangalawa, itong regulated drugs. Ano bang pagkakaiba sa regulated at saka sa prohibited? Ang sa prohibited drugs, ito po yung mga droga that is not allowed under Republic Act 9165. Regulated drugs, on the other hand, are those drugs that needs the prescription of a doctor. From the word regulated, kailanganin niya ng special prescription from the doctor. At the same time, yung pag-regulated kasi, regulated siya kasi po minumonitor ito ng DDB or Dangerous Drugs Board. Regulated drugs po. Sunod is volatile substances. Okay? Volatile substances, ito po yung mga rugby or any kind of, pwede din po varnish. Alright? So, ang prohibited, regulated, or volatile substances are basically under what we call as dangerous drugs. Okay? Tinatawag po itong dangerous drugs. Next, ano ba ang pinagkakaiba sa drug abuse and drug addiction? Tingnan po natin ang pagkakaiba sa dalawa. Pag drug abuse, it refers to the use of a drug with such frequency that it causes physical or mental harm to the user or impairs social functioning. Ibig sabihin, nagiging drug abuse siya kasi pag gumagamit ka nito in a certain dosage na iiba, na-alter yung physical and mental aspect mo. At the same time, yung normal na functioning mo has been impaired, na iiba na. Nung una, okay pa yung functioning mo, pero naging abnormal na yung behavior mo nung nakainom ka nito. O, drug abuse. Sunod, drug addiction on the other hand is the state of the mind in which a person has lost the power of self-control in respect of a drug. He consumes the drug repeatedly, leaving aside all values in life. In other words, the addict can resort to crime to satisfy his drug craving. Ang drug abuse is more on the physiological aspect. Pero ang drug addiction is more on the psychological aspect. Ibig sabihin, wala ka ng control. Ang keywords nito is self-control. Wala ka ng control. Ibig sabihin, once natatapos na yung pagiging high mo, na wala na yung epekto, you will crave for more. Ang pag-crave po is part of what we call as drug addiction. Ang drug abuse, hindi siya craving. Gumamit ka ng droga of a certain frequency na naiiba, na-alter yung body functioning mo. For example, instead of taking 500 milligrams, nag-take ka ng 3,000 milligrams. It's part of drug abuse. Okay? Na-alter. Kumuha ka ng marijuana in order for you to ease the hunger that you felt, in order for you to stay awake. Nagkapi ka. Okay? In a dosage that alter your body functioning, it's drug abuse. Nasobrahan. Ang drug addiction, nasobrahan, at the same time, you crave. Naghahanap ka for more. Right? Yan po ang difference sa dalawang terms. Okay? On the other hand, ang pag-administer po ng drugs may 5 pamamaraan po ito. Okay? Lumabas po ito sa board examination kadete ha. Kindly memorize this. Una, oral. From the word oral, saan po ba yung ina-administer yung drug? Meaning sa mouth, oral. When you ingest, when you put it inside the mouth, it's basically oral ingestion. Sunod, pag dito po i-enter sa nose to the lungs, towards the lungs, ang tawag niyan is inhalation. On the other hand, if you want to administer it directly to the body by the use of syringe or needle, ang tawag po injection. On the other hand, through the nose, ano ang pagkakaiba sa inhalation and snorting? Inhalation from the nose towards the lungs. Pag nose, snorting lang, nose. Then, buccal drug is administered by placing it in a buccal cavity just under the lips. Inilagay mo doon, under the lips. For example, those persons suffering from stroke, di ba may isang tablet na maliit, inilagay po under the lips of the person. Tawag po doon is buccal drug administration. Okay? Next, the primary causes of drug abuse. Pinaka-common po ito. Bakit po ang isang tao nag-advocate or nag-engage into drug addiction or drug abuse? Kasi po una, association. Ang association po refers to our peer pressure, mga barkada po natin. Remember, birds with the same feathers flock together. Ang emphasis kasi dito, if you will mingle with drug addicts, there might be a big possibility that you will become drug addict also. Association is very common. Pangalawa, experimentation. Diba? Curiosity kills a cat. Napaka-curious mo, gusto mong tikman. And to the point na naging addicted ka na. Experimentation could be one of the causes. Sunod, poor personality, ang hina ng super ego mo. Ang hina ng conscience. You come from a broken family, kulang ka sa disiplina. Poor personality could lead to drug abuse. Poor family background at saka yung environment. Tumira ka ngayon, surrounded by drug addicts, naku, magiging drug addict ka na yan. May-influensyahan ka. Alright? So, basically, importante yung association po natin, yung environment po, yung personality, at saka yung family po natin. Alright? Characteristics of drug addiction. O ito. Characteristics po ng drug addiction. Una, uncontrollable craving. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo na makontrol. To the point na magnakaw ka na lang. May iba nga dyan. Addict. Kahit anong makakita, binibenta. Pati yung clothes niya, binibenta. Piyesa sa motor, binibenta para masatisfy lang yung craving. Pangalawa, tolerance. Tolerance meaning yung tendency po natin na i-increase po yung dosage ng drug. Una, yung sabon na 300 worth of value lang. Sunod na season, you are not satisfied with the 300, bumili ka ngayon ng worth 1,000. Pagkasunod, bumili ka ngayon ng worth 2,000. It will increase the dosage, tolerance. Addiction po, yung psychological natin, psychological aspect that we will be looking for the drugs no matter what, yung craving po natin. Physical dependence, we cannot function very well without the drugs. May iba nga dyan, if they cannot drink alcohol, they will be trembling. Nagiging trembling sila. Magti-tremble yung mga movement. But with alcohol, nagiging normalize yung functioning nila. Physical dependence yan. Psychological dependence, ibig sabihin sa psychological aspect, your mind will always be looking for it. Will always trying to satisfy your craving. At saka yung tinatawag nating withdrawal syndrome. Ano ba itong withdrawal syndrome? Ito po yung mga epekto the moment you will withdraw from drugs. Okay? So, we will talk about that later on. Lastly, may group classification of drug abusers po tayo. 4 po, mga kadete, kindly familiarize yourselves with the following classification. Una, situational users. Ito yung gumagamit ng drugs for some important needs. For example, additional energy lang in order for them to keep awake, in order for them to perform their work, especially yung mga drivers sa Manila who will be traveling from 6 o'clock in the evening, tapos makarating sila doon sa destination 6 o'clock in the morning, imagine 12 hours travel, nakakaantok yan paggabi. So in order for them to be awake, gumagamit sila ng drugs. Ang tawag po sa kanila is situational users. Pangalawa, itong spree users, ito yung mga adventurous. Dito po, nakalagay yung experimentation. Gumamit ka as a matter of kicks or adventurous daring experience. As a matter of fun. Yung pakikipagbarkadaan dito yan, spree users. On the other hand, itong hardcore addicts, ito yung mga tao whose life revolved almost entirely about or around the drug experience and in terms of getting supplies or securing supplies. They show strong psychological dependence on the drug. Ito, hardcore addicts na talaga. Ito yung nagbibinta na po ng mga ari-arian para lang masatisfy yung craving nila. Lastly, ito yung mga hippies. Those who are addicted to drugs believing that a drug is an integral part of a human life. Ito yung mga taong abnormal psychologically speaking. They think that marijuana is a source of life. Marijuana is essential. That they have to take it. Yung mga taong nagsasabi that marijuana is a holy plant. Yung mga ganyan. And they have to take it in order for them to become holy. And in order for them to meditate. Yung mga ganyan. Hippies po ang tawag dyan. Alright? I'd like to stop in this topic, mga kadete, and I will continue on the second episode. Maraming salamat po sa pag-advocate sa Bitcoin. Kindly share our videos para marami po ang matulungan in this free, comprehensive, and TOS-based discussions. Maraming salamat and God bless everyone. Ingat po ang lahat.